exact same food 2 days in a row. First day I gained over 2 pounds. Second day I lost 1.5 pounds. First day I ate 2 meals that were rather large. Second day I ate 4 meals that were spread out more evenly throughout the day. When I was first looking at this whole nutrition thing, the common knowledge at the time was that you want to eat as many small meals as you can. Whereas now it seems a lot more people are leaning towards intermittent fasting, which is where you consume all of your calories within an 8-hour window. Both of these can't possibly be true. And I think that where a lot of the confusion comes from is people eating different foods when they're trying these programs. The one benefit that I think I can get from having a carnivore diet is that I'm eating the same things every day, regardless of how often I'm eating meals. So in the future, I think I might look into spending a whole week eating 1 meal a day, followed by a whole week of eating 7 meals a day, and see, how do these things affect me independent of the food that I'm eating? I started doing some research on intermittent fasting, and it turns out that weight loss really is on the list of benefits. But when I was fasting, I gained weight. So what do you guys think? Is this something I should experiment with more thoroughly? Another side effect of this carnivore diet is that I've been feeling way more sore after my workouts. Don't exactly know why this is, but I wanted to address this. So I booked an online yoga session with Jennifer Doheny. She took me through a lot of different poses that helped relieve a lot of this muscle soreness. And another thing that it helped with, which I wasn't even considering, was that it took some of the edge off, because I've been feeling incredibly on edge since starting this carnivore diet. And that's either a benefit or a drawback depending on your perspective. For me, I was almost looking forward to being a little bit more on edge, because normally I'm a little bit too patient and easygoing and can let certain things slide, which I probably shouldn't let slide. But at the same time, I don't want to be the guy who's screaming out loud every time that something goes slightly wrong with a video that he's editing, which has happened from time to time since starting this diet. Fortunately, going through this session, it did take off some of the edge, but not everything. If you want to get rid of some of your muscle soreness, if you want to take the edge off a little bit without even having to leave your home, then you can check out Jen's profile in the description below this video. Day 9. Lost more weight. Day 9, and my energy levels seem to have returned back to where they were. And throughout the day, I have a pretty stable, steady focus. But the one area where they still haven't returned is when I wake up in the morning. I've got a very strict rule for myself, and that's that I'm gonna get out of bed as soon as I wake up in the morning. I was following that rule for the last 3 to 6 weeks, almost every single day. The thing that changed is when I went on the carnivore diet, I just can't summon the energy to get out of bed as soon as I wake up. I'm wondering if one of the reasons why I can't get out of bed as soon as I wake up, why I don't have the discipline to maintain that, is because I'm devoting all of my discipline to sticking to this diet. I don't know if discipline is a limited resource like that. I know there's a concept called ego depletion, where you only have a certain amount of decision-making power in every single day, and by the end of that day, it's depleted, and that's why people make bad decisions at the end of the day, like binge eating. So maybe I've been devoting all of that willpower to sticking to this diet, and I no longer have it in the tank to get out of bed in the morning. Where that hypothesis seems to fall apart is that your willpower is supposed to be at its peak first thing in the morning. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Waking up after about 7 hours of sleep. Still dead tired, but I'm just gonna force myself to get out of bed. I've been sleeping way more on this carnivore diet, which is a good thing, but I'm also still exhausted and feel glued to my bed in the morning. So time to roll over and get up.
It's now day 10 and I haven't had a proper bowel movement in 5 days or so. And I've probably only been going once every 2 days. And what comes out of me is closer to resembling a waterfall than a log. I'm still losing weight though, and I'm really curious as to how that's possible. Is this constipation just going to go away one day and I end up releasing 10 pounds from my bowels? I used to think about this future where everybody would understand their exact nutritional requirements to get towards whatever their goals are. So you would know exactly how many calories you need, how many of each macronutrient you should consume, and exactly what your micronutrient consumption should be. And then somebody could either create a meal for you or some kind of a pill or injection, which would provide you with those exact energy requirements, and then you could go about your day and hit all of your goals. I'm wondering if this carnivore diet is something similar to this pill of the future, where you're giving your body only what it needs and your body's putting everything that you put into it to use. I don't know. These are all questions that I'm gonna have to talk to somebody who's more intelligent or more well-researched than I am, because I don't have the answers to these questions, but I think that you and I both deserve to find them. I haven't gone to the bathroom in almost 3 days now, and somehow I'm still not gaining weight. I'm actually losing weight for most of these days. And no, don't worry, I'm not actually taking a shit, because I can't. So what I'm curious about today is, where is all of this food going? If it's not coming out of my body that way, then what's happening? I'm gonna run a little breakfast experiment and see what happens.
See how much the meal weighs.
I just ate 12 ounces of food and gained a pound, let's give the scale some margin of error there. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm either down weight or I haven't gained weight, and I also haven't gone to the bathroom, then where is all this weight going? According to Healthline, the average poop weighs 1/4 pound to 1 pound. Does that mean that I'm carrying 3 pounds of poop in me? Or does it mean that my body's using every piece of meat that I'm putting into it? I'm coming back from a working session now, and I had to use a public restroom for my first bowel movement in 3 days. And the washroom was disgusting, and normally I like to avoid these types of things, but when you have what I can only explain as a waterfall during a hailstorm coming out of your rear end, you gotta make do with what you have. From what I understand, red meat is the most nutrient-dense food on the planet.
Meat provides us with most of these things. It contains all essential amino acids our body needs and a lot of minerals like iron, zinc, and essential vitamins.
If that's the case, then perhaps your body is using all of the nutrients that's in this red meat, which means that there's no waste to get rid of. Another potential explanation is that you're not consuming any fiber, and fiber is what makes your digestive tract run. I don't know. The one thing with this diet is that I've actually lost so much weight. To me, it makes sense that whatever I'm consuming is being put to use by my body because it's already burning a ton of fat. It can't actually afford to get rid of anything else. It needs to use all of it to meet its energy needs. And I need to eat all of it to meet my taste needs. True Local, thank you guys. You've really outdone yourself on this cut. 11 days in, 33 steaks down, and I'm still loving every bite.
One of the benefits of this carnivore diet is that I have been falling asleep the second that my head hits the pillow at night. The problem still is getting up in the morning. Another thing is though, I'm feeling nauseous today. Feeling just like my stomach is full of grease and I want an apple. Today, we're gonna overcome that. So let's go.
You might think that I'm a disciplined person, but I actually have no discipline. Now I'm getting better at it. I implemented a system where I introduce new positive habits every 3 weeks, and I have to have 90% compliance or more with the previous habit before I implement a new one, which is what motivates me to stick to the implementation of that habit. The first thing that I do in the morning is stretch for a minimum of 5 minutes. When I first implemented that habit, it actually prevented me from getting out of bed first thing in the morning because I was dreading the fact that I was going to have to stretch as soon as I got up. So one of the next habits that I implemented was get out of bed first thing in the morning. For the 3 weeks preceding the carnivore diet, I got out of bed almost every day. Now, since starting this carnivore diet, I think almost every day when I woke up, I still laid in bed for at least 10, 20 minutes because I felt so exhausted I couldn't motivate myself to move. I'm hoping that as I get more used to this, as I start getting adapted to this diet, I'm gonna have that discipline and motivation return because that is what gets your day started on a positive note. And I wanna maintain that. Hopefully, this carnivore adaptation kicks in and I'm a machine. So I woke up at 5:30 thinking, why am I feeling so tired and nauseous? And then I realized that today is one of my favorite days of the entire year. Daylight savings time. So really got up at 4:30, back on a good sleeping schedule, got out of bed right away. And hopefully that's going to be the cure of this carnivore diet bedlock. Yesterday I had a friend tell me that these digestive issues might be coming from not having enough collagen, which I can get from bone broth. So I'm gonna head over to the grocery store now, see if I can find a bag of bones, which seems unlikely. So I'll speak to the butcher, see what they can do for me, if they have any, favors that they can provide. 2 lessons learned. First, soup bones, not free. Beef fat is free. This diet's definitely turning me into an animal. Bringing me back to our prehistoric roots. We were scavengers in the African plains, just trying to find animals and crack their bones apart for the marrow. Apparently that's one of the theories for why human brain size got so big. My brain could definitely use a little bit of sizing up, so let's see if this helps. Bring this to a boil. I don't even know what these bones are. Ah, that's hot. Is that bone marrow? I don't know enough about what I'm doing here, so can't hurt to just toss these in there, right?
Ladies and gentlemen.
This brings down to very low. Let's do that for about 8 hours. Be up till 12 p.m. Damn it, bone broth. You better make me poo. So
this what happened with the bone broth? It seems like I definitely did something wrong.
Just had my first good poo in about, I want to say 7 days. It's day 12. The last time I remember doing that was day 4 or 5. So I was starting to get a little bit concerned. Not as concerned as my mother was, but fortunately I've never been good at taking her advice because no supplements, no fiber, everything's flowing smooth. We'll see how long that lasts for though. Hopefully this just continues on for the rest of the 90 days, but I am not that optimistic. I'll keep you posted.
Carnivore diet day 14.
2 days ago I had my first bowel movement in quite a while, and then I had yesterday even more time when I was glued to the toilet. Yet somehow I gained weight yesterday and then I gained even more weight today. I'm eating the same, if not less than I was for the days prior to this, yet somehow I'm gaining weight. I have no idea what the explanation for this could possibly be. So if anybody knows an expert who can explain this shit, please send them my way.